Has Donovan Mitchell played his last game for the Cavs?
Runs over Johnson, he's open for three, he knocks it down! Donovan Mitchell, with 12 seconds remaining, has given the...
Try to be dumb?
Mitchell, posterizes the big, throwing it down on McGee!
With the Cavs' defeat against the Celtics and Donovan being on the sidelines, many think he has already played his final game for the Cavaliers. ESPN's Brian Windhorst is spilling the tea that several teams are chomping at the bit to snag the All-Star. On Get Up, Windhorst dropped a bombshell, saying the Los Angeles Lakers and Brooklyn Nets are ready to throw down some serious offers for Mitchell. And to be honest, they won't be the only ones knocking on his door this offseason. At 27, Mitchell isn't just any player. He's a 5-time All-Star. He's got the 7th highest career playoff scoring average at 28.1 points per game. And as a point guard or combo guard, he's the kind of game changer who can flip a team's fortunes overnight. And he is having some of the best years of his career. And teams want to take advantage, especially a team like the New York Knicks, who have been very keen on signing him. But wait a minute, hold on. According to some inside scoop, the Knicks are setting themselves up for another disappointment, as the Cavs aren't interested in having any of the Mitchell to the Knicks type of conversations. On the latest Wine and Gold Talk podcast, Cleveland.com's Chris Fedor dropped the bomb that trading Donovan is totally off the table, he said. The Cavs have zero interest in trading Donovan Mitchell. They haven't even thought about that. And it sounds like Mitchell himself is feeling Cleveland as well. Fedor added, "I've talked to Donovan about this multiple times. He is happy right now where he is at. He is happy being a Cleveland Cavalier. He believes in this team. He believes in this roster." Meanwhile, his former teammate Joe Ingles wouldn't be shocked if Mitchell eventually dons a Knicks jersey. He said, "For me, it would be cool," said Ingles, now a forward with the Orlando Magic. "Anybody who gets to play at home, it would be a pretty special thing for them. If he does, great. If he doesn't, it's not going to change my life one bit." Ingles, who spent 5 seasons playing alongside Mitchell with the Utah Jazz, told a Utah radio station last summer, "I think Mitchell will play for New York one day, whether that's sooner or later." Chris Fedor, though, is doubling down on the Cavs' stance about Donovan Mitchell. He says the Cavs aren't in a situation where they are even interested in listening to what teams will offer for Donovan Mitchell. They're not even considering that at the moment. At this point, you just have to pity the Knicks, you know? They've been enamored with Donovan Mitchell ever since his Utah Jazz days. Back in September of 2022, everyone thought he was destined for New York. But then Utah's president Danny Ainge threw a curveball and sent him to Cleveland instead. The Cavs now seem determined to keep their core intact with Mitchell, Jared Allen, and Evan Mobley, along with Darius Garland, maybe. Even though Mitchell didn't sign a contract extension last summer as it didn't make sense, they're likely gearing up to make him another offer this upcoming summer. So Knicks, maybe it's time to swipe right on someone else. The Cavs are likely not trading Donovan to the Knicks. And with the addition of Jalen Brunson, the Knicks really should not be interested in Mitchell. 2 ball-dominant guards just doesn't work. But Mitchell to the Lakers is intriguing for a multitude of reasons. And even though the Denver Nuggets, who've shown the Lakers the door in the playoffs for the past 2 seasons, along with the Minnesota Timberwolves, Oklahoma City Thunder, and Dallas Mavericks don't seem to be going anywhere anytime soon, Mitchell to the Lakers could be exactly what they need. Because at this point, you have to question if the LeBron-AD depth formula is still potent. They did win a championship, but the further we get in the years, the further away you get away from that championship. You have to wonder, is it enough to compete, especially when the depth that they've had lately has been more like shallow waters? Swapping out multiple role players for Donovan Mitchell could pry the Lakers' title window open a bit wider, while also setting the stage for a promising post-LeBron era. Imagine a Mitchell and AD duo backed by a decent supporting cast. This would indeed keep the Lakers in the championship mix for the next 5 years or so. But for the Cavaliers, trading Mitchell only makes sense if they can't find a better offer elsewhere. But this is where Mitchell could force his way to the Lakers in a sense. He would be entering the last year of his contract, and he is extension eligible this summer. So when the Cavs offer him the max extension this summer, if he doesn't sign it, they will have no choice but to trade him, or they risk losing him for nothing. Yes, there are other teams that can offer better packages than the Lakers, but if Mitchell says he will not re-sign with that team, the chances are no team will trade for him, because no team is mortgaging their future by trading for a guy that is just going to walk after one season. The signs are pointing to Mitchell eventually leaving, so if he won't commit beyond the 2024-25 season, no matter how much the Cavs posture up, they'll need to make a move. Plenty of teams will have more draft picks to offer than the Lakers, but they face the same problem the Cavs do. Standing pat until you can get a fortune from Mitchell might just lead to anxiously watching the clock until his contract runs out. The Brooklyn Nets is another team that is looking for the services of Donovan. Remember the infamous 2013 trade where the Nets gave up literally everything for Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett. Then in 2019, they emptied their wallets for Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and even DeAndre Jordan. Not content with just that, they went all in again by trading for James Harden. And after finally emerging from the shadows of those bold moves by offloading Harden, Irving, and Durant, it looks like Brooklyn might be gearing up to chase another star. And Donovan is that guy. If the Nets are serious about pursuing Donovan Mitchell, they'll likely want to keep Mikal Bridges out of any trade talks to keep Mitchell around beyond his current contract. Brooklyn needs to be competitive right away, and Bridges is the key to making that happen. Instead of including Bridges, the Nets could offer 2 rotation wings to balance out Cleveland's roster, a heat check scorer to back up Darius Garland, and some valuable draft picks. According to ESPN's Brian Windhorst, the New York Knicks are not a landing spot for Mitchell, pointing instead to the Brooklyn Nets as the more likely destination. The Nets have a solid mix of draft assets and young talent, making them a more appealing trade partner in this scenario. But here's the issue. The Nets finished 18 games under 500 at 32-50. So Mitchell leaving a top 4 team in the East to go play for a below-average team would be a downgrade in my opinion, especially if he wants to compete for a championship. And that doesn't look to be happening anytime soon in Brooklyn. The Miami Heat are in the mix as well, and despite the lack of draft assets, their offer might catch Cleveland's eye more than what the Lakers or Nets can put on the table. Tyler Hero, who snagged the 6th Man of the Year award in 2021, Jaime Jaquez Jr., who has shown promise as a point forward, and Nikola Jovic, a shooting big man perfect next to either Jared Allen or Evan Mobley, forming a compelling package. These players fit right into the developmental timelines of Darius Garland and Evan Mobley. For Cleveland, this trade would mean a deeper, better balanced, and younger roster. For the Heat, though, it's a major gamble. Jimmy Butler would turn 35 in September and just missed a full postseason run due to injury. Banking on him to overcome his availability issues as he ages adds a layer of risk to this move that would be extremely high stakes. This trade would take a chunk out of the Heat's depth and future assets. But NBA titles are built on star power. The last team that won a championship without much star power was the 2004 Detroit Pistons. That was literally 20 years ago. So it's safe to say you gotta have at least a star or two. Adding Donovan Mitchell to a trio with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo gives Miami a star-studded lineup that, at least on paper, looks formidable. While Brooklyn's potential trio of Mitchell, Mikal Bridges, and Nick Claxton is somewhat intriguing, the combination of Mitchell, Butler, and Adebayo in Miami could be a title contender by literally next year. Assembling a solid supporting cast around them would be challenging, but the Heat, led by Coach Eric Spoelstra, have a knack for discovering and developing underrated talent. Although that is not something that should be heavily relied on. But all these speculations, all of these debates hinges on one thing: if Donovan leaves the Cavaliers. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, aka Woj, has some really spicy news regarding this, dropping the bombshell in the episode of NBA Countdown. I reached out to Donovan Mitchell today, said Woj, and he was emphatic in telling me that he is not disgruntled with anyone or anything. In fact, he told me, "I am happy in Cleveland. I've been happy since I arrived in Cleveland." But what's intriguing about this is not what he said, but what he didn't say. He could have easily put all the rumors to bed and said, "Also, I want to stay in Cleveland," but he didn't. And why didn't he? He's going to get a max contract offer regardless, so he didn't have to posture, and he didn't need to try to create leverage. So does it mean that he is staying? Does it mean that he's leaving? This obviously depends on him signing a new contract. Donovan Mitchell, like I said before, is entering the final year of that contract, and the Cavs are going to offer him the max extension worth nearly $200 million over 4 years. While Mitchell told Woj that he is in no hurry to make a decision, he's motivated to get back to work, Woj explained further how Donovan Mitchell knows the question that is coming for him now in this offseason about his future in Cleveland. Mitchell said himself, "I know I've got a decision to make this offseason. My agent and I will talk to Cleveland about that at the right time. I'm not leaving this season unhappy. I'm leaving it more determined." He thinks the team has made progress this season. Obviously, this includes winning the first round matchup against the Magic to get to the conference semifinals for the first time since 2018, but he's not in this to go to the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. He has bigger goals, and while he's happy with the team's progress, he's hungry for more than just a second-round appearance. His sights are set on deeper playoff runs and ultimately a championship. Whoever offers him the chance to win will most likely get his signature. Imagine Mitchell with the Miami Heat or with LeBron, AD, and the Lakers. But speaking of the Lakers, if you want to know why LeBron James hated Darvin Ham, just click right here.